All right, welcome back to another video here on McCaffrey Farms. As you can see, we're working more on our Kraus sweep. Also, in one of the previous videos, I said this was a Kraus 3776. As you can see, it's a 3700. But anyways, what we're doing right now is we're going through and changing these sweep blades, putting the new ones on. As you can see, it's quite a bit of hard surface. This one isn't as bad. This is one we're gonna keep as an extra for when we need it, but it's a little lower, and like there at the front, it's pretty worn down. There were some others that all that hard surfacing was gone, so we need to replace them. We only have this one here, this one, and that one, the 4 outside ones, 2 on that side and 2 this one, and over there, up there. Those ones are done. Working on getting this blade right now. I'm by myself. Dad's checking the cows. He is gonna come help me, but just working on getting this one up by myself. As you can see, I got that side propped in, working on lifting it up and gonna get a punch to go through that hole, and so we're gonna get it doing that, getting ready to go farm some more. It's gonna be kind of 2 deals. I'm gonna explain in the video what happened with that sweep and why we had to use the old one. But anyways, I have a time lapse, so I'll put that on now, and then later is when I'll be going to the field and working. So here goes the time lapse. It's a little close. Could have got closer, maybe. Probably not. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video of us changing those blades to time lapses. That was only a time lapse of changing the first 2. I only did the first 2 just because it gets kind of repetitive, and there wasn't really a whole. It was a decent process. But we did get the other 5 changed. The last 3 were a bit of a struggle because some of the bolts didn't want to come off, so we had to end up torching quite a few of them off. But we got new bolts anyways, just because the ones that were on here were getting pretty worn, and so we got new bolts and nuts anyways. But anyhow, as you can see, we're back to working some more ground. We're working this ground. Right now this is kind of like the first step. This is ground we're preparing for hay grazer or our forage sorghum. And as you can see, this is the Kraus 3700 sweep. I don't know if I've touched on this story yet, but I'll just kind of give a quick recap in case I haven't. This is a sweep that we drove 305 miles to go get. It's been a pretty decent sweep. We've had a few little ups and downs with it. That far outside blade, those bolts ended up breaking like 2 fields in. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the sweep now. These U-bolts right here, and what those do is it holds, we call this the frog. Might be some other names for it, but it's the deal that these blades bolt onto. And what happened is, a while into farming, this front one broke, and that made it to where the front of this blade was angled. And yeah, it worked fine for a little bit, and we didn't really notice it just because it's not something that happened. But anyways, as I was farming along, I was going just fine, everything is working good. Well, all of a sudden I heard a pop from inside the tractor. That's when I looked back and saw that these 2 at the time it was right in here on each one of them. Those had snapped, and that had caused this whole blade to just really kick back, and it was barely held on. Well, when it did that, this part right in here, you can see the welds, but this part actually ended up bending back. So because of that, we had to take that whole piece off and send it to a local shop in one of the neighboring towns, and they were able to straighten it out, and they were the ones that did all the welding. They even made these bolts. They bent them themselves and put the threads on, which is pretty nice. As you can see, had to do a little welding on these, because when this bent, this back part bent, these actually didn't bend. They stayed straight, and the welds just popped off. So they had to re-weld those. Right now I'm waiting on Dad. It's a little easier to see it right there. There's just that right in there is kind of the low point. But what we're gonna have to do is, we have the turnbuckles right here, that's what we call them, and that's kind of what controls the depth throughout the whole sweep. As you can see, it's all along. But what we'll have to do is we'll have to lower this to the ground and let the blade sit, and then we'll have to take out this is the stop to help keep it from turning while you farm. But then you turn this nut and that'll adjust that tire. So right now, that's what I'm waiting for. That's why I'm not farming right now, is Dad just got done feeding the cow, so he should be coming any time, and we're gonna adjust that. The reason we need to adjust it is not only is it unlevel, but this far side of the blade right in here, if you can see, it wasn't going in all the way, it was just riding on top of the surface. So if we can get that leveled out a little better, it should work just fine. And overall, that'll be the last two things that we got to get worked on with this sweep. So that was kind of annoying. Luckily we were able to hook up to our old Flex King. It's still operational. We were still able to use that one, so it wasn't a big deal. We just had to finish the one field, and then I guess we did another 25 acres with corners around irrigation, but it wasn't a big deal. We were able to get it all done. But anyways, now we're working this ground to prepare it for the hay grazer. We will be planting in, I think Dad said he wants to try and start within a month maybe. So probably right after we plant milo, we'll try and do that. But anyway, the reason that we are going through this, like I said, is to get it ready for hay grazer. But as you can see right in there, there's some green. That's more of the older weeds. It's kind of hard to tell right now just because of the dust. But if you do look on the ground, there are some little itty bitty weeds coming. And those weeds that are coming are red root pigweeds. And we really want to get those killed early, just because when they get some decent size to them, they get really hard to kill just because they have a pretty good root structure. And on top of that, if you don't get them killed, they really take away your ground moisture. And since we're trying to prepare this land for a crop, we want to get those killed and conserve as much moisture as we can. As you can see, it is somewhat dry right now, but we do have some rain in the forecast for the next few weeks. So hopefully we can get all this ground that we need to get worked. We can get that all worked and farmed and loosened up. And then that way, when it comes in and rains, it can really absorb all the rain it can. But anyways, now I'm probably just gonna go ahead and do some different shots, and so there's less talking and more actual footage. so to kind of touch on that last video, that happened last night, which was Wednesday, April 22nd when it happened. But what went on was, when I was going back to where the pickup was, going down the road, I was actually just getting to where I needed to turn off and park the tractor. I was maybe 50 yards from the driveway where I needed to go. And what happened was, down in there, you can kind of see those two bolts. The bolt that the actual hitch that you put the pin through with the tractor and the sweep to help connect it, that bolt either broke or the nut found a way to work itself out. And as I was getting ready to start slowing down to turn, I felt the tractor kind of jolt weird and pull a little different. And by the time I was able to look back and try and get the tractor stopped, the sweep and the hoses had already disconnected pretty much. Well, the hoses were the only thing that disconnected. Luckily, they did what they're supposed to do. I believe these are the Pioneer ends for the hydraulic hoses, and those are meant for if something like that happens, they pop out so it doesn't ruin anything. So that worked with all 4 hoses. That was good. Nothing got real damaged. The only thing that really bent was right in there. Maybe kind of hard to see with the dust, but there's kind of a prop for the hydraulic hoses that holds that up. That was the only thing so far that we've noticed wrong at all. So we got pretty lucky on that. It really wasn't a big deal. It didn't do anything wrong. It's just kind of the timing, and the bolt couldn't hold anymore, or the nut finally came off. But that's all that really happened. Was it just unhooked and kind of swung down into the ditch. So the way we ended up pulling this out of the ditch was with the anhydrous hitch. Now, it might not have seemed like the best idea, but really, that's the only thing we could do. My brother came and he had a smaller pin that would fit through that, and we're actually able to just take the hitch for the tractor, back it up as close as we could, and we were able to hook that up and pull it out quite a ways. Hooking up to the anhydrous tank hitch like we did, though, was left very small margin for turning when we pulled it up out of the ditch, because those picker wheel baskets on the back, that's what we call them, picker wheels. Other people might call them something else. Anyways, those were really close to the back tires, so pulling it up out of the ditch, we didn't have much space to turn. And the way it was angled, in order to get it up on the road, we needed to. So the way we did it is, when this sweep is folded up and going down the road, that hitch is pretty high. So when we pulled it up out of the ditch, the sweep blades, where we pull the end backwards, or up out of the ditch backwards, they kind of stuck in the side of the road, which it didn't destroy the road by any means, just because it was in the soft shoulder anyways, and it had already been messed up from going in the ditch. But that helped us, because we ended up having to unhook from the anhydrous tank and hooking on with the chain to the 3-point. That way we could raise the back of the sweep up and get those blades to stay out of the ground. And that's kind of how we finished pulling it up onto the road, was by lifting it up slightly when we needed to with our 3-point arms. Lucky for us, and well, the neighbor where we were taking it, which we do know pretty well, the tongue of the right in here, where the hoses and everything are, that actually embedded probably 3 foot into the side of the ditch, just because of the weight of the sweep. And I wasn't necessarily going full speed, because like I said, I was slowing down, so it was less than 24 mile an hour. but just from that momentum, it impaled, or well, stuck into the side of the ditch at least by 3 foot. That's how that prop for the hydraulic hoses got bent. It's just when it went into the dirt, that bent it over. But thankfully it did that, because it actually happened. You might have been able to tell in the video, but the tongue of the sweep actually went into the ditch about 4 foot to the side of our telephone pole. So we got really lucky there. And also with it sticking into the side of the ditch, it saved our neighbor's fence from being taken out and having to redo that. So overall, we got pretty lucky. Didn't harm anything on our sweep or any of the surroundings, so that's pretty good. And now I'll kind of go over how we got it out. Now in that clip, what I was doing there was I was going around what we call washouts, just kind of where the rain comes, and like that is in the bottom of a hill and in between a couple of hills. Most of the time we go over them. You know, you just kind of slow down and take it easy, be nicer on the equipment. But however, where I'm getting to in the field, the edges of that washout were pretty close to a straight drop and getting a little rougher. It's not real deep, so like as I go, I'm still going to be able to drive through it, but I just wanted to go around it once on each side. That way I could lift the sweep up out of the ground and be able to go a lot slower. So in that way, you know, I'm not slamming the tractor or the sweep through that, and it's just overall treating everything a little bit nicer. Like I said, most of the time we go through them, but this one, it runs quite a bit through this field. As you can see, kind of right in there, you can kind of see the hill a little harder through the video, but that's kind of where that starts, and then it snakes through over there, and like down in there, there's a much deeper part of the hill. But anyways, just trying to treat the tractors and implements a little nicer, so that way they last a lot longer. But anyways, that's going to be about all I have for this video. I do apologize for not putting much on here lately with class and just work on the farm. It got pretty busy and there wasn't really any time to film some videos or even edit. I know most of the stuff we had been doing was more hands-on stuff than actually farming the fields and working the ground, so it wasn't the easiest to get a camera up or my phone to record. But like I said, I'm gonna finish this field tomorrow. This is a 320 acre field, or half section, so I've gotten close to the auto steer. It does a rough count. It says 63, almost 64 acres, so I'm getting there. There's still quite a bit left to do. Won't be able to finish tonight. It's already 6:30, and I don't really know how long that's gonna take to finish, but I'm gonna do that in the morning. Then once I get done, I'm gonna take the tractor home, and we have another field that it's a lot more bare, so it doesn't have quite as much soil, or not soil. It'd be bad if it didn't have any soil. But it doesn't have as much moisture as these ones do. So we're gonna use our field cultivator, or as some people call it, a digger. We're gonna go over that. I think that's roughly 100 acres. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Dad, but we probably won't get any of that done tomorrow, just because we still need to get our field cultivator ready. But that is also going to be going into hay grazer. It's just where it's a little more bare. We don't want to disturb as much moisture. Like I said, these ones have quite a bit more, even though it's pretty dusty. You can see where the actual blade, the middle of the blades are going. There's quite a bit of moisture, and you dig down 2 or 3 inches, there's quite a bit of moisture. So we'll still be in good shape, and like I said, there's rain forecasted, but that field, it just has a lot smaller weeds than even this one. And the field cultivator, we don't really use it much, but it's there when we need it, so that's what we're going to use. But anyways, that's going to be about all I have for this video. I do apologize for not putting much on here lately with class and just work on the farm. It got pretty busy, and there wasn't really any time to film some videos or even edit. I know most of the stuff we had been doing was more hands-on stuff than actually farming the fields and working the ground, so it wasn't the easiest to get a camera up or my phone to record. But like I said, I'm gonna finish this field tomorrow. This is a 320 acre field, or half section, so I've gotten close to the auto steer. It does a rough count. It says 63, almost 64 acres, so I'm getting there. There's still quite a bit left to do. Won't be able to finish tonight. It's already 6:30, and I don't really know how long that's gonna take to finish, but I'm gonna do that in the morning. Then once I get done, I'm gonna take the tractor home, and we have another field that it's a lot more bare, so it doesn't have quite as much soil, or not soil. It'd be bad if it didn't have any soil. But it doesn't have as much moisture as these ones do. So we're gonna use our field cultivator, or as some people call it, a digger. We're gonna go over that. I think that's roughly 100 acres. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Dad, but we probably won't get any of that done tomorrow, just because we still need to get our field cultivator ready. But that is also gonna be going into hay grazer. It's just where it's a little more bare. We don't want to disturb as much moisture. Like I said, these ones have quite a bit more, even though it's pretty dusty. You can see where the actual blade, the middle of the blades are going. There's quite a bit of moisture, and you dig down 2 or 3 inches, there's quite a bit of moisture. So we'll still be in good shape, and like I said, there's rain forecasted, but that field, it just has a lot smaller weeds than even this one. And the field cultivator, we don't really use it much, but it's there when we need it, so that's what we're going to use. So once again, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoy what you see. I hope you like the videos, and if you do like them, remember to hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it a lot when I see the likes. I haven't really been getting too many views. I have finally got a video over 100 views, which that's great in my opinion for just starting out and only having, I think this will be my 7th video, but that's great. That was kind of one of my goals. So now my next goal is probably 200 views on a video. That's what I'm hoping for. Then also another goal, I said I wanted to reach 50 subscribers, which I did. Last weekend I think I hit 50, so that's great. But I do ask that if you're not already subscribing to the channel and you do like what you see, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It's free. All you have to do is have an account. I appreciate it when I see all the new subscribers. So, and also, if you do like the channel and you think you have friends that would enjoy my channel, please feel free to share it with them and tell them to like and subscribe. But also, make sure to check me out on Instagram. That'll also be McCaffrey Farms. It's all undercase. I'll have the page name in the description, so you can easily go look at that and see. But anyways, that's gonna be it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also hit the bell icon that notifies you when I post new videos. And if you like my videos, that'll help you be able to watch them more. Anyways, thank you for watching.